Alright, hey, Haters Omega here. So there we go, I got it all back together again. I just took it for a quick test drive up and down the block here, and it seems to be running okay. The question is, if I turn it on the next day, will it work? Because literally, that's all I did. I took it for a ride, I came back, I parked it, turned the bike off, and then I came back the next day, and it was working like that, you know. It, like, the boot up screen would come up, and then the no gauges would show up. So, and then it wouldn't work. So yeah. I hope this doesn't happen again. But yeah, here you can see we did update the firmware. If you go here, also, like I said, I fixed the screen. I loosened the screws holding the screen on there, so it's not holding it as tight. This case is not very good. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This case could use improvement. So if you go to bike stats, it'll tell you this firmware. It says NXT firmware 2.00 RC4. So Hades Omega successfully updated it. Good job. So the hardest part was trying to get that the driver, the USB to serial driver. I had to go do some detective work to get that driver, man. So I'm gonna go install that driver on my tuning laptop here. So hopefully we can update the thing with this. Yeah. So I got some use for this thing. You know, it's like I hate to just have this thing sitting around. You know, I should use it every once in a while, even though the screen's all cracked and stuff. But it still works great. You know. Yeah. It's very purpose-built laptop by Hades Omega. It's also good for drawing too, because it has like a tablet built into it. Yeah, so there you go. I got it running. Good thing is I got the regen working. I was able to jack up the regen, and I was able to select variable throttle. But I'm having a problem. And maybe I'll make a video of me riding, but the regen only works when the throttle is applied. That is not the way this bike worked before. So I don't know, for whatever reason, when I roll off all the way and I get on the regen throttle, I get nothing, you know. I have to crack open the throttle a little bit, you know, or yeah, I mean, that's the way it worked before. You could mix the throttle and the regen throttle, and then it'll give you regen. The regen will overcome the throttle. Okay, so you'll get regen, but you won't get throttle, even though you're applying throttle. So this one is this is stronger than this, is what I'm going to say, type of thing. However, it only works that way from now on. If I roll off all the way, like I tried playing around with the throttle too. I tried adjusting the throttle where it was open, you know, or where the throttle was like just giving it just barely a little enough throttle, so like you can hear the motor. It's like you hear that little high pitched noise coming out of the motor, and then it worked when I rolled off. But it only works when you give it a little bit of throttle. I think it has something to do with the throttle calibration screen. This one right here. It's not working properly, so yeah. So maybe I'll fiddle around with it more, but it's, you know, something's still wrong with it. I have to give it a little bit of throttle for it to regen, and that's a no-go. I want throttle. I want regen while I'm on the throttle and while I'm off the throttle. That's an important part, man. Like that's not the way it worked before, you know, and that's not the way I want it. So I had to figure out how to. I had to go. I'll tell Alan about that. Like, hey, well, what's up with that? But it is working a little bit better than before. So I don't know what these assist modes are. Yeah, there's like a little chevrons here. I don't know what they do. Okay, but everything else works. Sport and eco. Little gauges work. So yeah, all right. Yeah, Hades Omega will play around with it, but anyway, that's what I was able to do with that new firmware update. I was able to get the regen working, so that's a good thing, because I didn't want to ride this thing without the regen. But I haven't, you know, I have a feeling that the throttle is still wonky on this bike, man. That's not the way it was before, so I want it the way it was before. So, yeah. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe I turned the headlight off or something. It was doing some weird stuff with the headlight on and off, so I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, so yeah, bike is working again. Hooray! So now we're making some progress, but I still feel like it's still not quite how I want it. Like, I want it at the point where, like, I'm not gonna mess around with it anymore. So seriously, man, I don't want, like, my bike. It's like Windows 95, right? It crashes. When Windows 95 came out first, it crashed all the time, you know. And it seems like that, man. It's kind of like you know, you sneeze and and it stops working, you know, type of thing. So I want it, you know, reliable all the time. So and I'm just not getting that. I'd say we're like 90% there, but that's that 90%, you know, that last 10%, it makes a big deal. It makes a big difference. Okay, so there we go. Hooray! I got my bike running again. I had to update the firmware to get it running again. Let's hope the next time I start my bike up tomorrow, it still works. Okay, here's my out. Woohoo! Before we go, here's a quick test. Okay, so I'm gonna cycle the bike on and off like 10 times, and we'll see if it, you know, boots up. It's like we're driving a computer now, man. I'm telling you. There's one. It kind of worries me that it takes a second for the black screen to go to the. It's 2. Okay. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, so there we go. That was a little test that Hades Omega did just to make sure this thing doesn't break itself again. Alright, and it passed, so I was able to cycle the switch on and off, basically go from the booting sequence to the main screen with all the gauges, and I did that 10 times, and it passed every time. So hopefully it stays like that. Okay. So like literally, man, Hades Omega was like flabbergasted, dude, when he came to this bike the next day and it didn't want to work. I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. It's like I can't have any Windows 95 moments like that, man. I'll tell you. All right. Yeah, Hades Omega is comparing the NXT display to Windows 95. All right, here's the go.